Welcome back to The Big Picture. Home ownership offers great pride for families in all areas of Western New York, most notably in poor neighborhoods, where statistics show that if home ownership increases, property values increase, and there's more community pride. One organization that helps make that happen is Habitat for Humanity Buffalo. Joining us now through Zoom technology is Stephanie Lawson, Director of Development and Communications. Hi and welcome, Stephanie.
Thank you so much for having me. How are you?
It's great to see you. Stephanie, what is the mission of Habitat for Humanity Buffalo?
So we try to help families build homes, we try to build communities, and we try to build hope. And we do that by bringing together volunteers who build houses in some of the overlooked corners of our community.
Okay. And how do you find the home or the place that you're going to build?
Yeah, so we try to build in whole neighborhoods. Oftentimes we'll look at areas where there are many vacant properties or many abandoned houses, and we'll go in and we will build multiple homes so that we're not just building one house for one family, we're really creating a neighborhood.
So that's what I was saying about how it changes the whole neighborhood. Now, first of all, like step one, you have to find a family that needs a home, right? And what do they have to do? How do you find them, and what do they have to do to qualify?
So anybody can apply to our program, and we look for a few things. Families who actually demonstrate need for our program, that is, they cannot qualify for a traditional mortgage on their own. Habitat doesn't give homes away for free. Families actually have to apply for a 30-year interest-free mortgage. They repay that house for the cost of that house. Families also have to demonstrate a willingness to partner. Every family has to contribute 400 hours of sweat equity. They swing a hammer, they attend budgeting and first-time home ownership classes. It really is a comprehensive program so that people are successful long-term, because home ownership it's not an easy thing. You have to know what you're doing to own your home and to maintain your home.
That's what everyone who owns a home knows. It's not an easy thing, you know. You know what it reminds me of? It takes a village. So when you get these people together, do they have not only have to do, as you said, participate, sweat equity, but do they have family and friends and neighbors that help them?
Absolutely, that's a big part of it. Everyone in the family, everyone in the household really rallies to finish that home. And even children in the household, they will get sweat equity hour if they have perfect attendance. So we're incentivizing every single person in that family to be a part of building that home and being a part of the solution, right? Achieving that goal of home ownership.
Right. Now there's a board of directors, and the board of directors, I assume, works with the family in sort of a teamwork effort. How do you go about it?
You know, we're very lucky. Not only do we have a really fabulous board, but we have an incredible base of volunteers. Every homeowner gets matched with a volunteer for the entirety of the program. We call them liaisons, and that person kind of holds the hand of the home buyer. If you've never applied for a mortgage before, if you're not familiar with terms like sweat equity, you really need that extra hand holding. So we have a volunteer who guides the home buyer through the program step by step and explains to them what it means when you're signing that paper to actually finalize your mortgage, what is required to repay the mortgage over 30 years, the value of an interest-free mortgage. That's not always something that somebody understands initially, so we have volunteers who walk people through that program.
And there probably are volunteers that know how to build a home too. I mean, all that goes into it. It can't be easy. I don't know.
It's not easy. We have volunteers do that too.
You recently christened a home in Niagara Falls. Does Habitat happen, is there one regionally, or when I said at the beginning it was Habitat Buffalo, do you work together with all of Western New York?
So we're a part of a global network of habitat. Anywhere on the planet you go, you'll recognize that name, Habitat for Humanity, because we're all over the world, but every chapter is independent. All the fundraising we do in Buffalo, that stays in Buffalo. All of the work that we do in Buffalo stays in Buffalo and Erie County. And we are very close partners with the Habitat Niagara. So they also have their own independent group of volunteers and their own board, but we're very collaborative. All Habitat affiliates around the country and around the world benefit from the knowledge of the other affiliates.
I would assume, because it is so well known, that it is a national organization too. However, big question is, how has the pandemic impacted Habitat with the building of homes and with funding?
So back in March, when the pandemic first hit, that really, like everybody, took us for a ride. We shut down our build sites for 3 months. That's the longest period of time we've ever been closed to volunteers in 35 years. We closed from March through the beginning of July, and that slowed everything. It requires about 6,000 volunteer hours to finish a Habitat home. And for those volunteers who could not build with us, we had to supplement that work with our staff. So things moved a little more slowly. That said, we kind of reimagined how we work. We worked very quickly to move 6 families from rental homes and unsafe living conditions during quarantine into Habitat houses. So 6 families moved. We donated our trucks and our staff to help the food bank and Goodwill pick up donations. One of the other things we did is we did some cleaning when things were slow. We found 20,000 of the hospital masks that we donated to the Kaleida Health System. So we really just did everything that we could to not just move our mission forward, but to be a good neighbor to our other partners.
I know it must have been hard. It was hard for everybody. Now you have a unique fundraiser, virtual fundraiser called Hammer and Ales. Can you describe it?
Yeah, so this is really fun. We've been partnering with the Buffalo Niagara region breweries for about 3 years. Every year we raise the funds to build an entire house. This year, we know that our partners at local breweries and bars, they're hurting too. So when we went to the drawing board, we said, what can we do that will help raise awareness about Habitat, but help those breweries and bars that are really struggling? So we came up with this idea. For your $35 ticket, you get beer from a local brewery and pint glasses and tasting glasses, and then you can log on to Zoom for a small intimate tasting led by either the head brewer or the owner from a local brewery. They are an absolute ball. We've done 3 already. They are every week through March. But the added benefit is not only does it benefit Habitat, we're paying for all that beer. So the breweries who are participating are actually getting some business from this as well. So we're really helping each other.
I was going to ask you, what was the response from the breweries, because they must be suffering too during COVID, and with all the restrictions about in dining, outdoor dining, everything. It had to hurt them.
Yeah, I think every small business has really had to reevaluate how they do business. And one of the great things about Buffalo is we are such a community-minded city. We care about local business. We care about small business. And this is just one more way we're rallying to make sure that those local businesses stay open and are sustained through this pandemic, and we all come out of the other side.
Yeah, we're very, very obsessed with that here at WBBZ. Now, what's included in the ticket, and how can people get them on your website?
If you go to habitatbuffalo.org and scroll down on our homepage, the link to buy is right there. And with your ticket, you have a tasting with a brewery of your choice. We've partnered with nearly a dozen, not just breweries, we also have a meadery. If you've never tried mead before, this is a great opportunity. And a distillery, Buffalo Distilling, is on there. And with your ticket, you get all of the beverages for sampling. So maybe 4 beers or a bottle of liquor, depending on the different venue that you're tasting with. You get pint glasses, tasting glasses. There's Chex Mix in there because you have to have a food pairing with drinks. And then you pick it up the Saturday before the tasting, and then that Thursday night of the tasting, you hop onto Zoom with 20 other people, and you have a great time. It really is a ball.
It sounds like so much fun. What made you go to working or concerned with Habitat Humanity for Buffalo yourself?
I've always been in the nonprofit world, and I did animal rescue, which was a lot of fun. And I fed children. I worked at an agency feeding kids, and one of the challenges is that there's always going to be a hungry person. As soon as you feed them, they're hungry again in a little while. And although that's a really important cause, I thought personally Habitat was a good solution. You really see generational change with the work that we're doing, and it has a deeper impact. Now, all of those other causes, feeding kids and rescuing animals, are still near and dear to my heart. I have 2 dogs who I'm bribing with treats to not bark during this interview. And those things are important. But for me, the impact that I feel where I can make the most difference was that generational change. When you move a family into a stable home, there are inherent benefits. The stability, the safety. A lot of rental units in Buffalo, they're older homes. They have asbestos, they have lead, they have mold. Our homes are safe. And that stability really does create generational change. You see children more likely to go to school, have fewer behavioral issues, better attendance, go on to college. That really does have a long-lasting impact.
And we can't talk about Habitat for Humanity without mentioning President Jimmy Carter and his wife, because they were so instrumental in putting really the whole thing on the map, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. And really, President Carter is an inspiration. He's in his 90s and he's still swinging a hammer. The Carter bills are a huge, huge undertaking. When they go into different parts of the country, they don't just build a couple houses, they build entire neighborhoods in a short amount of time. They attract thousands of volunteers. And what's really great is what President Carter has done as an ambassador. He's brought other high-profile folks to Habitat's mission. So, Garth Brooks, for example, has really helped carry the torch, and his wife, Trisha Yearwood, are really taking on a role as an ambassador of our mission as well. So having that, it goes back to being small affiliates here locally, but having that big brand around the world. President Carter really helped make that possible.
He actually did. He made it a household name and has so sincerely and diligently worked for it over the years that I'm sure it's made a big difference. Well, thank you, Stephanie, for joining us. And remember, if you want more information, go to habitatbuffalo.org. Thanks for watching The Big Picture. Thanks for watching WBBZ-TV. We look forward to seeing you next time with more hometown topical talk.